Hey guys, welcome back. This is episode 4. Took a little break to do some errands, but I am back now with a few more hours to play, and let's see what awaits us on the capital world of Coruscant. Humph. How can any live on this world? Is dead place. These buildings, they tower over and under. No land, no water. There's nowhere to hunt. Scorekeeper turned away from here, I think. Interesting perspectives, because there's actually like a trillion people on Coruscant. And a lot of bounty hunters here, so there definitely seems to be places to hunt, just maybe not the kind of hunting he's accustomed to.
I like the city. It's a refreshing change from Tython.
How can you say, Harold? Look around. It's too many buildings, too much noise. It's no hunter's world, but I stay. I stay for you, Harold, and for Yuan. Please, we visit Yuan first. Embassy can wait for me. Alright, let's go meet with Yuan. See how our dear former master is doing. And let's get on our speeder. Alright, so we have two new abilities, and I described Taunt already. It's mainly an aggro control mechanic in PvE and a team utility for PvP. Our other one, Mind Crush, is a cast, which as infiltration we will use very infrequently. I think I had my quick bar set up like that. But basically, you have to be standing still to use it. It takes 2 seconds to cast it, and it does a little bit of upfront damage and then puts a dot on them as well. So it is a little bit of burst, which otherwise we don't really have at all. But even though we are a burst class, we just don't have our burst very concentrated. But on the whole, you won't want to use Mind Crush too much as an infiltration shadow because it's just not worth the force cost compared to some of our other high damaging moves. There are some uses for it in dueling and 1v1 scenarios in PvP, but otherwise I would just completely ignore the ability. It's not really worth it. For Serenity, however, it's a pretty big deal.
I failed. I failed. I failed. I'm sorry. I failed. Once there were two little boys. Their names were Parcanus and something. Why can't I remember?
Wonder what she's talking about.
I thought this Atros Finn was meant to be helping you.
Atros? Atros? No. Padawan?
I've never seen Yuan so, Harold. Not in all years of knowing.
I'm not mad. The man in the shadows is making me this way. He brings the darkness. It's coming.
Interesting.
The man in the shadows? I don't understand.
Parcanus! Parcanus, where are you?
Yuan! Farron, please, see Yuan back to her room. I'm sorry you had to see that. I'm Atros Finn, the researcher here. We must get to work finding a cure.
She keeps talking about someone called Parcanus. Who is that?
You don't know either? Never mind. A cure is what Yuan really needs. The problem is that the greatest collection of learning in the galaxy, the Jedi Temple here on Coruscant, has lain in ruins since the war. I believe the answer to curing Yuan is in the archives of the Temple ruins, but accessing them won't be easy.
Centuries of learning scattered. We added to the Sith's victory by being careless.
The Temple's artificers created a system to sort through the vast stores of knowledge. A set of 3 holocrons that served as guides. The wisdom and personalities of the Order's greatest masters were imprinted on these guides, which they called Noeticons.
I remember these things. Coming back a little bit now. You do think that the Jedi would have backed up their servers somewhere, though, especially with technology of this era.
These Noeticons formed a sort of virtual Jedi council?
That's exactly it. And I need your help to recover them. The temple ruins were looted. The Noeticons were taken. I have a lead on one of them, but it's not in friendly hands.
Is no matter. To help Yuan, we face anyone.
Republic security spotted some Gan scavengers carrying a Noeticon in the Migrant Merchants Guild. The Republic brought one of the Gand in for questioning, but he won't talk.
If this Gand has information to help you on, I'll get some answers.
The Republic officer you want is Alec Efron. He's at the security outpost with the Gand right now. And I'm working on a lead for the second Noeticon. I should have something by the time you get back. Good luck.
Well, keep at it. Did you notice that his lightsaber is actually the same one we made on Tython? So much for being unique. Alright, got a little more XP, not very much though. What did Kaizen say? Harold must speak with you. I think he wants to speak with us back on our... Well, it's on our ship. We don't actually have a ship yet. So, probably a cantina. But as you get approval with your companions, they open up new conversations with you. Which is kind of cool. But I have seen all those before as well. Alright, so we have to find Mr. Alec Efron. And there is a speeder point up here. There's also a PvP terminal over there if you want to learn to PvP. Down those steps on either side, there's a big underground area. It's really cool. You can learn to craft. You can, there's a GTN down there to go shopping. What else is down there? I think a cantina if you want to RP. Couple cool things like that. The other reason cantinas are useful, and their public fleet, at least the main area on the fleet, and your own ship once you get one also count, is because they are rest areas. And when you log out in a rest area, you get a buff that gives you double XP. And the longer you're in that rest area in between leveling, the longer that buff will last up to a full XP bar. They disable that during double XP though. Essentially it's the same as always having the boosted XP. Although the rest XP only affects creatures you kill. It doesn't double the XP from missions or anything like that. Actually the world boss is right here, I'm pretty sure. Somewhere that looks a lot like that at least. I think it's there. But that you do need a big group of at least 5 or 6 really good people I would say to kill it. Probably more if they're not too familiar with their class or super well geared. Alright, we have mail, but... oh, the matriarch is mad about me killing Nayland, it looks like. If you want to read that, just pause the video. Otherwise, I'm going to continue onward. We didn't actually meet the matriarch. In most playthroughs I have. I guess maybe it's a Jedi Knight thing or part of the planetary storyline. Probably the planetary storyline, which I did not do this time since I'm focusing just on the class story. Alright, so it looks like our contact is up ahead here. There's a canteen over there as well. And there he is.
Jedi, welcome. Welcome to the, old galactic market, sir.
Something can barely speak.
I'm sorry, I never met a real Jedi up close.
With respect, I'm here about your prisoner.
This is the, Gand we brought in. He was talking about that Jedi holocron you're all looking for, but he's not exactly, talkative.
Great. Sadness to have been captured. Should have fought harder. This Gan won't speak to you or to anyone. Well, you are speaking to me. Okay. You can try to force persuade him, but since I'm barely a Jedi Knight, I'm not sure that's going to work.
I need the holocron. I suggest you cooperate before I get impatient.
This Gand is weak and cowardly, but he is not afraid of threats.
The Force can do terrible things to a person, Gand. Do you want a demonstration?
No, this Gand will tell you what he knows. The man called Lars Badig brought the holocron to the Gand's leader, Alice Galoon, and told him to keep it safe. How do her little elbow things there stay on her arms? There's no straps or anything. Just a curiosity.
Where is the holocron now?
The Gand doesn't know. He only knows the orders Alan Galoon has given. Alice Galoon has ordered the Gand to keep the holocron away from the Jedi. Some days Alice Galoon holds it, some days the ones who have earned one name, some days cowards like this Gand. That's right. The Gand are interesting species. They don't start out life with a name, but if they accomplish something, they're given a name, and the more accomplishments they have, the more names they have. So Alice Galoon, since he has 2 names, must be fairly prominent in Gand society.
Why haven't the Gan tried to move the holocron off of Coruscant?
The Republic has barricaded the Migrant Merchants Guild. It is not possible for this Gand or any other to leave. The signal device in the market tells the Gan when to move the holocron and where. The Gan doesn't know the signals, only that when the first signal is raised, the Gan meet behind the warehouse, and he sometimes gets the holocron.
That seems excessively complicated.
I'll bet the signals have something to do with the Gand hierarchy. Throw up the right one and you'll get their leader.
Yes, please don't tell anyone what this Gan told you. Alright, well, let's grab this little codex for experience. And then we will head to the signal device, which is kind of far away. So, I'm going to cut the video here, and I will be right back when I get to our destination. Alright, and we are back. We have infiltrated the Gand's hideout, or the Merchants Guild hideout, and we are going to give the signal and see who comes to pick up the Noeticon. Hopefully their leader. Has 3 signal lights on it. Okay. School of Fish, a pack of Act Dogs, or a Mighty Rancor. Well, if those are as obvious as I think they are, the School of Fish is probably the Gan with no name. The pack of Act Dogs are probably the Gan with 1 name, and the Mighty Rancor would be the one with the 2 names.
I think I understand how this works.
Informing the Gan to change who carries the holocron. Alright, and the location is in the back there. So let's go into stealth, which is very handy. We want to level quickly. Stealth is the way to go, but if you want to level like a Sage or something else, that's obviously not an option. Does make it nice for shadows and scoundrels, though. This is him. It worked. You think you are clever for fooling Elgis Gulun and the rest of the Gand. Should mind temper, Gand. He will not break his promise to Lars Badegg or to his brothers to keep the holocron from the Jedi. Let's get this over with.
Yuan will die without the holocron. I won't let you keep it.
Alice Galoon will see about that. Alright, let's start with stun. Yeah, let's do some TK throw. I can use Mind Crush if you guys want to see it, but let's see. Not that great of an ability. Not for infiltration, at least. Is this the Noeticon here? Transport container. Guess he had it with him. Kind of cool looking.
The fractal structure requires that it be removed from...
With all respect, Master Arca, you are incorrect. The structure only appears fractal. If you view it through the lens of the Force, you...
I don't suppose either of you is going to move past your petty geometrical squabble long enough to notice we have a visitor.
That guy has quite an outfit. But the little Yoda-like guy, that's Master Vandar, I think. It looks like Master Vandar from KOTOR. He was in the first game. Was he in the second game? I don't think he was in the second game, but for some reason I have a feeling he survives. Maybe because he's in Noeticon here. Maybe that's why I think he survives. I don't know. Somebody who remembers the game better than I do might have to remind me.
I came for information, not to be dragged into a debate.
Oh, I know why he survives.
I would be offended, but you make a fair point. The last person to use the Noeticon got so tired of hearing these two yammer, he shut us down. It was a mercy.
Wait, Master Thoris. Where is the Jedi Temple? We seem to have been moved.
Indeed. There is no Jedi Temple anymore, or at least there's a brand new one on Tython. Master Vandar comes back at the end of the game. That's right. What happens to him after that, I'm not entirely sure. Master Arkajeth. Did I not notice that last time? I don't remember that. That's true. I guess these Jedi don't have to be contemporaries necessarily, since they're just virtual approximations of them, I guess. Arkajeth was a great Jedi from about 40 years, I think, before the KOTOR era. He trained Ulic Qel-Droma and his brother, and somebody else as well. I think he fought against the Great Droid Rebellion led by HK-01, if my history is correct. Well, that's cool. Didn't know that was him. He's not really human, though. He's, what species is he? Yeah, it doesn't matter.
The temple has been destroyed, and its contents ransacked.
Destroyed? Has any of the knowledge been recovered?
You're the first.
This is the first Noeticon I've found.
It seems much has changed since we were last activated, and not for the better.
Masters, I've come seeking help for my own master, Yuan Pa. She's suffering a mysterious illness.
How terrible. Come, tell us her symptoms. Perhaps we can help.
So, she claims the darkness is coming, and talks of someone called Parcanus, and her mind is most affected.
I'm afraid we've plied our extensive knowledge of biological, chemical, and technological diseases, but this illness is beyond us.
So there may be no cure.
Sometimes knowledge comes through ruling out false ideas.
For once, Master Vandar and I agree. Yuan's illness is definitely not medical, but we have accessed files that bear cross-checking.
If you can find the Noeticon of Light, where Masters Noab, Nomi, and Woe guard the Jedi Order's mystical knowledge, they may be able to help.
Yeah, so definitely Master Vandar. But I was gonna say I don't think they were contemporaries, but I guess they would have been, because chances are Master Vandar would have been alive and well before the KOTOR games. Haven't heard of the third guy though. But I did recognize one of the names he said was Master Nomi Sunrider, one of the greatest Jedi of all time.
I'll try. But with all our knowledge, you'd think we could save one of our own masters.
I'm sorry we couldn't have been of more help, but it's difficult without the other parts of the Noeticon.
Find the Noeticon of Light, and seek your answer there. May the Force be with you. And remember, if you seek answers, you must always ask questions.
Well, that's kind of obvious, but okay. Guessing, yep, we have to go back to Atros and see what he has for us. Hopefully some clues to the location of the second Noeticon. So one thing I should probably explain is Force Breach, which I don't think I ever got into, except for saying that it's an effect or a ability that all shadows get, but has different effects depending on which stance you're in. For tanks, it's a minor AoE. For Serenity Shadows, it's one of their dots. For Infiltration, though, it's one of our hardest hitting abilities. And basically our entire rotation revolves around building stacks of Hardness Shadows, I think it's called. And when you have enough of those, 3 ideally, you can use Force Breach to unleash that built-up power, dealing a lot of damage. And you can build those stacks through using Project with a certain buff, and by using your melee abilities. So I'll get a little more into that once we get some more levels under our belt and our rotation comes together. But yeah, for now just know that that's going to be kind of the centerpiece of our rotation. And I'll try to do some combat soon so you can see it in action. Can't mount here. At some point they broke something about... Oh, there's a control point here now. That's helpful. Sometimes for whatever reason they don't unlock automatically and you have to click on them. Not really sure why. Can use rocket boots though. Whoops. Oh, I just interrupted my own rocket boots. Oh well. We shall enjoy the scenery a little bit more then. Some other people running around. Senate Tower is obviously a very busy location because it's one of the hubs for a lot of class storylines. Pretty much everybody passes through here at least once. And if you're a trooper, you come here almost an annoying amount of time to visit your commanding officer. But I don't like how they broke the... normally when you can't use an ability, like right now I can't use Force of Will because I'm not stunned, and I can't use Force Breach because I have no stacks. So you can see they're grayed out there. They used to have it so that your speeder and rocket boost were grayed out when you couldn't use them. But at some point they disabled that, so now even if you're in combat and you can't use rocket boost, it's still lit up. And even when you're in a non-speeder zone, it's still lit up, even though you can't use a speeder. Must be the medical center here.
Good, you're back. Did you find it? The first Noeticon?
I talked to the Noeticon's masters. They had advice, but no definitive cure.
You actually spoke to them? Amazing. At least we're on the right track. I have a solid lead on the second Noeticon. Unfortunately, it's in Black Sun territory. They're a local gang. Pretty vicious.
They'll give me the Noeticon peacefully, or face a battle. It's their choice.
My sister works at the Silent Sun Cantina. She says the Black Sun has turned the Cantina's back rooms into some secret warehouse. There's shipments going in. My sister saw the Noeticon in one of them, but no shipments are going out again.
Tell me where I need to go.
I'll give you directions to the Silent Sun Cantina, but be careful. Those Black Sun gangsters are vicious. Alright, well, I think we can handle them. Let's choose some common data crystals. You can also choose a better focus or a better shield generator, but we're going to go with this. Why am I not getting very many experience points? It's because of my level? Like, double XP is still going on, isn't it? Yeah. A server-wide increased event, time remaining 34 hours. Maybe 23 is more than I'm thinking. Oh, it is. Yep. Yeah. I was leveling a high-level character yesterday, and they were getting like 150,000 or 200,000 per mission, but obviously they're level like 60-something, so that's why. Alright, so let's see where the Silent Sun Cantina is. I'm going to go to the speeder out here, and then we'll see where our next stop is. Black Sun is a criminal organization that's around through, I guess, pretty much the entire history of the Star Wars universe, because it's also around the time of the movies. It was sort of one of the focus points of the Shadows of the Empire multimedia thing, which is kind of the first real multimedia experience in the Star Wars universe, and a really successful one. They did like a video game, a novel, I think a soundtrack, some comic books. I think the idea was to do everything that would normally accompany a movie, except the movie itself, which is obviously, extremely expensive. But video game, I had it back for the N64. I think it was actually a pretty good video game. But a lot of the lore for the Black Sun and for the species of Feline and the IG-88 line of assassin droids, all that comes from that game originally. And the human-like droids, whatever they're called. I forget what the official name is, but the droids that look like humans but are actually droids underneath. All of it comes from Shadows of the Empire. Alright, so we have a bit of a ways to go. But I'm actually going to just run there without clipping the video. Whoops. Because I do want to show the infiltration rotation. Not that rhymes. In action. Alright, so you can see there I now have a stack of Breaching Shadows. And you don't want to use that without the full 3 stacks. Let's hope I can get into combat and get another stack before that one wears off. See if we can attack these guys here. The single melee attack should proc it. Yep, there we go. Because it has what's called an internal cooldown, which means when you get the proc, you can't get it again until that internal timer has expired. And there we go, it expired and I got another stack. And I now have 3 stacks of Force Breach, so let's run up here a bit. And this should probably be a one-shot. I can also use Force Potency to make it an auto-crit if I wanted to. Not quite a one-shot, but 400 damage. Not too shabby. Most of my attacks do like half that. But yeah, you can use this to make it pretty much an auto-crit, or a 80% chance of critting, or whatever it is. Now, when you get to max level or closer to it, you get a passive ability that makes Force Potency automatically give you 3 stacks of Breaching Shadows whenever you use it. So in that case, you don't want to use it unless you have 0 stacks of Breaching Shadows already. Otherwise, you're essentially wasting stacks. But I'm pretty sure at level 15, we're not going to have that passive yet. Speaking of being level 15, once I get to a safe area, I can probably bring out my Hut statue and unlock some new abilities. If you weren't subbed for Rise of the Hut Cartel and don't have a Doctor or a Grub Hut statue, you can also just visit a trainer, which they're at every planet at some location. I'm not quite sure where they are on Coruscant. I think they might be downstairs below the Senate Plaza, where I was saying all that other cool stuff was before. But I'm not entirely sure on that. You can't find one there. You can always go to the fleet, and I think they're in the combat training section, maybe? I don't know. I'm just used to having these statues that I haven't actually been to one of those trainers in a long time. Alright, we're almost to the Black Sun Cantina where that Twi'lek sister works. By a convenient coincidence. Alright, we are in the cantina, but no time to drink or dance. We have work to be done. I'm not going to read all of Kaizen's little notes because they're pretty much just generic.
Please, Doc. You gotta help me. I don't want to die.
I'm trying to help you. You need to calm down. Wait, what's a Jedi doing here?
This gang has something I need. Stay back and you'll be all right.
Those Black Sun thugs. They call me in to clean up a botched operation, and I find this. They're smuggling contraband off-world. Old Jedi junk, data discs, inside people's bodies.
Ah, that explains it.
The Black Sun pay their thugs to carry them, get their stolen relics out, and no one's any the wiser.
But Justicar, those vigilantes from the lower city, one of them paid big to get this stuff off-world. Quiet-like. Especially some Noeticon. The Justicar's name, he was... Lars something. Lars Badek.
Do I know that name? Oh, I think that was the one the Gan mentioned, wasn't it?
Lars Badek gave the Gand another Noeticon to keep safe. He must be behind all this.
The smugglers. I can't get the paperwork to go off-world. They're still here. Still hurting.
Those smugglers are dying, Jedi. I need that contraband out of them, but I have my hands full here.
Huh, he didn't narrate that last line. Can you help?
These people chose their fate when they handed themselves over to the Black Sun.
They were desperate to get off-world. Look, there's Jedi relics inside them. Maybe you care about those. The object I found in this man had a magnetic ID tag, which means that the Black Sun must have scanners to identify their smugglers. You should find one in the other room and grab some medical supplies. Maybe we can keep these men alive.
Alright, an interesting plot idea. The Raiders definitely put some thought into this game. Alright, so now we have to go scan the smugglers downstairs in the cantina. See if any of them have that tag, I guess. Yeah, that symbol above Kaizen's head means he wants to talk, but I'm not going to talk to him because there's a lot of companions in this game and they all have a lot of conversations. And I could spend 20 episodes just doing that. Plus, I don't really feel like reading everything Kaizen has to say since he doesn't really have a voice actor. Just the noises he makes. Nothing there. See, rest zone because we're in a cantina. That's also the only type of place where you can, well, that's right, I think it's this guy. I remember that. Which is why these people are standing around. Jedi Guardian and Jedi Sage, because they're leveling together.
Please, I surrender. Don't hurt me. Please don't hurt me.
You can either say, let me help and undo the surgery, or no promises. Well, let's go with the dark side one.
You're carrying a valuable item, and I don't have time to be gentle.
Hope we have some anesthetic on hand. Yeah, it's gotta be painful.
Oh, what'd you do that for?
I think he needs a doctor.
Getting worked up will only make your wounds worse.
Lousy Jedi! At least the blasted thing's out!
Yeah, she probably is a lousy Jedi, but it makes it fun, right?
The wise woman always seeks knowledge, for she knows that she knows nothing. Welcome, Jedi. It is wonderful to see a face so young pursuing knowledge of the light.
See?
You honor us.
I don't have time for your mystical babble. My master is ill.
There's no need to make demands, Jedi. We
Must
are
be
here
Nomi.
to serve. Tell us what you know of this affliction, and we will scour our combined knowledge for an answer.
She was the Grand Master of the Order during her time as well.
This is most unusual.
For KOTOR.
And very troubling. We've searched our considerable knowledge and compared data from the Noeticon of Science.
This illness you've described, it's more like a kind of mind control.
How could anyone control the mind of such a powerful Jedi?
Well, you could ask...
No, Nomi, you can't be serious.
What is the matter, Master Wally? I think Nomi Daboda knows best of all of us.
I don't dispute her wisdom, but the Noeticon of Secrets is the gateway to dark things. If the mind is not properly prepared to face them...
Must be the third one. Also, it sounded like they called her by a different last name. Was that her... Maybe her maiden name? Because I know she married somebody with the last name of Sunrider, but it also doesn't make sense they would put her in a Noeticon until she became a master. So, not sure how the chronology works there.
Trust me, I've seen worse.
You see what I mean?
Have compassion. You've heard this Jedi's cause. The Noeticon of Secrets is not dark, though some of its secrets are. Go. Bring what we have discovered to the Noeticon of Secrets. Its masters will guide you.
Alright, 2 down, 1 to go. And let's holocall Mr. Finn again.
Ah, there you are. The Noeticons. How is the search going?
It's been hit or miss, but I've managed to find some answers.
I hate to interrupt you, but I need you back at the embassy. Yuan has taken a turn for the worse. She attacked my assistant, Farron.
Yuan is true hunter. Will fight to live.
I've managed to keep her restrained, but I'm worried what will happen if she doesn't calm down.
I'll return soon.
Thank you. Please, hurry. Yuan, calm down, please. There's no man in the shadows here.
Alright, another quest completed. I'm going to choose the common data crystals again. I don't think we're going to really need better gear, especially not when it's only slightly better. Alright, so let's quick travel back yet again. Thankfully they added a quick travel point in the Senate itself. I don't think that was there last... Oh wait, am I using the right one though? I think I might have clicked on the wrong one. I did. And a tower, that's the one I want. Common data crystals are a special type of currency. They used to be called basic commendations. If you're somebody who's coming back to the game, you might be more familiar with that term. Or even before that, they were planetary commendations. And before that, they bore the name of the individual planet you got them from. So there were Tython commendations and Coruscant commendations, etc. And they merged them into planetary commendations, and they changed the name to basic commendations, and now they're common data crystals. Why they keep changing the name, I have no idea, but whatever. So I keep choosing those because they're used for a wide variety of things, and I might be able to use them for something my higher level characters could use, such as companion gifts or decorations. Alright, let's check up on our dear master.
Please, Yuan, calm down. Nobody here wants to hurt you.
Ah, yes, Atros, but the darkness is coming. Maybe I want to hurt you. Yes, I think I'd like to break all your bones.
Uh-oh.
I'd enjoy hearing them go pop, pop, pop.
Forgive me, Yuan, but I'm not letting you injure anyone else.
Spoiling my fun? That won't do at all.
Time to face our master. Alright, so I'm going to start with the Force Potency. Alright, and you see how I have getting stacks of circling shadows there? That allows the next project to cost half as much force, I think it is. Consumes, I think it's 25% per stack. 2 stacks, it's half as much. And not quite yet, but we will get another buff that will make it so the project always gives you a stack of breaching shadows when you use it. And that might come a little bit later.
That must have been awful. To fight your own master.
At least I won.
I don't know what came over her. One minute she was placid, and then...
It's fight for life. Call for help.
It's more imperative than ever that we find a cure. What have you learned?
I need the Noeticon of Secrets, and both the Gand and Black Sun gave me a name, a Justicar called Lars Baddock.
The Justicars are self-appointed lawmen that police the lower city. Republic security was stretched thin after the attack, so the Justicars took over. Lars Baddock is one of their leaders, near the top of the Republic's wanted list.
Sounds all well and good, but somehow I don't think the Justicars are quite as noble as their goals seem to be.
I can take care of myself.
Lars Baddock is known to hole up in the central tower area. Do be careful. I'll take care of Yuan while you're gone.
Alright, another quest done. Didn't quite gain a level that time. But that's okay. Let's grab some new abilities. Heroic Moment. That's basically... It's not really useful for anything once you get to 65. Well, I don't want to say that, but it's not useful for anything at the end game. But it's really useful while leveling. It basically resets the cooldown on... Seize the moment, restoring 2% of your maximum health every 3 seconds. It used to reset the cooldown on Force Stun. Does it not do that anymore, though? It doesn't have that in the description. But it does restore your health fairly quickly. It requires the companion to use, and it also allows you to use certain legacy abilities if you've already leveled other classes. Force Speed, which is one of my favorite abilities. It makes you go faster. Technique Mastery is a passive trait. Interesting that we have to train it then. Improves the effect of your lightsaber charges. Let's see, and I am in Shadow Technique, increases armor penetration by 10%. Oh, the statue went away. Come back. There we go. Alright, and Guard. Okay, so Guard is not something we're really going to use because it's more of a tank ability. Basically, you put it on somebody to reduce their threat, and it also slightly reduces the damage they take by 5% in PvE. In PvP, it still reduces the damage that they take by 5%, but it also transfers half the damage they take to your character. So it's kind of the main reason tanks are useful in PvP. But since we're not playing tank spec, and since we're leveling, then we're not going to bother with it, because you have to be in combat technique in order to use it. Alright, so let's head back to our little speeder here. Could just quick travel to one, but there's one right up here, so might as well ride to it. But yeah, looking at our class tree, that's Circling Shadows, and what's the other buff called? Yeah, that's Shadows Respite. Mass Assault? No, that's not it. What is? Yeah, it does by 25% and stacks up to 2 times. There's another one though. Is that it? No, that's not it either. Also not it. Oh well. We'll look at that a little more later on. But there is another passive you get that will allow your project to also build stacks of our circling shadows. Or harness shadows, what's it called? Breaching shadow. One of the three. I think the other two might be names of tank abilities. Not entirely sure. There are so many ability names in this game, plus all the mirrors on the Imperial classes, that it's... I don't usually have too much trouble keeping straight what they do, but what they're called, that's a little more difficult. Even like the transition areas while you're on the speeder, pretty well done for MMO. Actually feels like you're on Coruscant from the movies. And there's our destination. Wonder what that's a poster of. Maybe a movie coming out or something? Who knows? Alright, so here we are in Justicar territory. And we have a ways to go. So I'm going to take another quick break, and I will see you guys when we get there.